What's up, everyone, and welcome to the Market Trap. I'm doing the Market Trap in a different way so that you guys can get more information. We can look at charts, and the quality is better. On Instagram Lives, it was slightly off, and it gives me more information to share with you. So, welcome back to the Market Trap, and let's get started. Starting with Nifty and what the market has done today. The market was, pretty bullish today. It opened like about 200 points on the upside, and the reason was on Friday we had like a very interesting closing from S&P 500, Dow Jones, and Nasdaq. So there was bullish sentiment right across the board, and here we go, we open gap up, and how we close was very interesting because the market after a rally was kind of consolidating. It showed some signs of weakness, but at the end of the day it just rallied up, and thanks to the two things you see over here, HDFC Bank and HDFC, I think they contributed to majority of the of the rally in Nifty, because even Reliance was okay today, but it was not the great. Even if you look at the IT pack, TCS, Infi, HCL Tech, Wipro, Tech Mahindra, all of them pretty flattish. And if I make this better for you to understand, we can clearly see that the major contribution that Nifty got on the upside was due to these banks. So I think it made sense for the banks to do well, primarily because HDFC had numbers, and since this is towards the close of the earnings season, we got a bunch of earnings as well. So we will we will talk about that. So first things first, let's quickly go and check out Nifty's chart and see what's happening and what's likely to happen. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open Nifty futures chart, and I'm going to show you what I feel could be the trade idea going in tomorrow, and we might see some action. So this is the daily chart of Nifty, and what you all can see is that we are at very crucial areas. So right now we are currently standing tall over here. We've got a good closing, but we can clearly see there is ample amount of supply here, and I believe this supply is going to be tested, and this supply is approximately, you can say, about 326 points or another 300 points away. So after this 300-point rally, I'm expecting Nifty to halt, because we have done this all the time, and I mean, you can see that every time we have a decent pullback. So this pullback was about 11%. We bounce very hard. Again, then we have another pullback over here, like this correction over here. We correct by about 14%. We bounce very hard. We do the same thing. We come to this supply. We fall very hard, about 15, 16%. And we're now doing the same thing. And I'm expecting that the markets could be bullish for the next 1 or 2 days, but then the market could take like a sharp move on the downside. So that's Nifty for us. And obviously today, if you look at Dow Jones and what's happening with the American market, so this is what America is doing right now, and what we can see is majority of the stocks are down, which tells us that there could be weak opening for SGX Nifty tomorrow, and hence Nifty. So it's going to be interesting to play that out. Nifty has been outperforming the overall market. So if you look at Nifty right here. So this is the chart of Nifty 50, and if I open S&P 500 right now in front of you, you can clearly see what have we done, right? So this is what S&P 500 has done. It is down about 28%, sorry, down about 18, 19% from all-time highs, and Nifty is still near hovering around these areas. I mean, Nifty is still, if you look at Nifty right now, Nifty is still approximately, you know, here, right? So it's more or less 3% away from all-time highs. So that shows clear outperformance from the Indian markets, and I have told you in my previous Instagram lives and previous market traps a lot why India is outperforming. So I'll keep it for some other day. Now, coming back to Bank Nifty and trying to understand what's happening. So there was a bunch of action, bunch of news, in the sense earnings came out with respect to banks, and that caused very selected moves. So what I am looking at in Bank Nifty is again the same thing. So we are here around these very, very crucial supplies, and I think Bank Nifty will react from this supply and then start dumping down, maybe after one uptick or maybe another 1 or 2 days of rally. So we go on a smaller time frame and we clearly look at this particular chart, and we can see that this entire region of supply, and to make it more clear to you, this is like a 800-point region of supply, which will be very crucial. So even if Bank Nifty goes all the way up around another 300, 400 points tomorrow, 41,600, 41,700s, I think we can start going down, or we could have some weakness. So The game plan for you guys should be that do not attempt longs very aggressively tomorrow and for the days to come. So let Bank Nifty come out of this range and maybe it starts to do something like this. So even if it has a good day and if it stays around this area, that's the time where you could initiate fresh longs and that could make sense. But I've done the game plan with my community members and we figured out that Nifty PSU banks, private banks, every single thing is near supply. So I think 1 or 2 days, 1 or 2 more days of uptick, and then we start seeing the market kind of flush down. So that's about that. Now, from an otherwise very important, significant aspect, we got good action, like very, very bullish action from a lot of stocks. So if I showcase a lot of bunch of things to you, just give me a minute. I am just going to apply a filter. Just a moment. Okay, we've got a better idea now. And group. Okay, so now what we can see is there were a bunch of stocks which did well. So if you look at this heat map, I'm just going to remove things which did not work out really well. And these were the star performers. So if you look at HDFC Bank, Infi, Airtel. Okay, so Airtel came out with earnings, and I will talk about those earnings. Blockbuster earnings by Airtel, very bad earnings by Tata Steel. We're going to look over that in a bit. But just look at this: Adani Total Gas, M&M, Shree Cement. So cement stocks were doing good because today there were numbers. So today there were I think cement consumption numbers month on month, and we had like a 12% growth. So you look at Ambuja Cement, you look at Grasim, you look at Ultratech, Shree Cement, all of them did extremely well. Apart from that, we saw energy stocks also do well. Nykaa jumped 17% today, so Nykaa shareholders be happy. And apart from that, we saw some healthcare stocks doing well, and a bunch of IT names which did reasonably well. So even Dalmia Bharat, another cement name which did well. And I think I've been speaking about pharma outperforming. So just look at Torrent Pharma, look at Aurobindo Pharma. Sun Pharma is at all-time highs, around 52-week highs, sorry, not all-time highs. And the theme is, pretty mixed. So there are select pockets where we are getting good action. Now, at the same time, if we start looking at the things which are not doing well, and we come out at these underperformers. So when I focus specifically on some place, so Sriram Transport Finance, again, weak set of numbers. I think a week back they got with some bad numbers. But apart from that, there has not been a single stock which, apart from Bandhan came out with numbers, horrible numbers, went down 10%. Apart from that, all of them are probably more or less done with earnings. So we are not seeing weakness right now, but I think, the strength in the markets could come to a halt when we maybe jump about 300 points in Nifty and about 600 to 700 points in Bank Nifty. Now let's quickly have a look at news flow. Now there were a bunch of interesting things that happened amongst the news flow. So let me go and help you understand that. So today we saw Dr. Reddy's came out with numbers, and apart from that, we also saw Vedanta, having earnings were in line, and every other thing was okay. And Tata Steel also today came out with numbers, and those numbers were bad. So I'm just opening something on my phone to read it out in front of you. So Tata Steel also had bad numbers, and apart from that, Intellect Design was also, I think, down by about 12% today. Bad numbers, bad earnings. So that was it. Dr. Reddy started off well. The earnings were good, but it started to fell off. Started to get sold off. So sales numbers, net profit numbers were all good. No observations from FDAs. The management commentary, guidance, everything was good. So no need to worry about that. I mean, Dr. Reddy shareholders, if anyone's asking about Dr. Reddy's, I think it'll just bounce back. Every other thing is pretty sorted. Apart from that, we also saw some interesting things. So Tata Steel, as I spoke about Tata Steel, it had a very disappointing quarter. So I think they have started to say that our Europe business is going to take a hit, margins are going to go down, and cash flow numbers were also bad, primarily because of the acquisition that they did. But Tata Steel's bad numbers could have an impact on a lot of metal stocks for tomorrow, and I feel if there is a bearish market tomorrow, I think metals are something to definitely watch out for. Now, Trent 52-week high again. This has been like a very strong stock. We traded this a couple of days back in our community, and it was a really really good outlook for Trent. And apart from that, even if you look at Rajesh Exports, so I'll just tell you like a bunch of other stocks which also did well. I think Rajesh Exports was also one of these textile stocks which did well. Now, apart from that, we also saw earnings of Intellect Design, as I told you, it had pretty bad numbers and it immediately took a bad hit. Apart from that, Tata Power came out with very good disclosure. So they say that the issues with respect to the Mundra project have been decided in the interim order, and they have seen more disc. So basically, in their power business, they had an issue, and that issue is going to get resolved. Apart from that, they also spoke about setting up new projects, and they're also expecting the profits of the company to grow 4 times by the financial year 2027. So that's a bold statement by the promoters, by the company. The management is good, so that is something that you should keep a watch out on. So that's another important thing. Now, SBI cards also came out with bad numbers. The stock fell a lot, so we are not going to discuss about that. Apart from that, there were a bunch of other important news pieces. So let me start off with that. Okay, so L&T Construction. So L&T Construction secured a power transmission orders of about 2,500 crores in Saudi Arabia. Stock up 2% today. I think today evening they also announced earnings which were also decent. Ramakrishna Forgings also bagged another order about 113 crores from Europe. That is also very good. Transport Corporation of India (TCI) that also came out with numbers. So again, we've seen a lot of earnings beat and we've seen a lot of earnings misses. Earnings misses in such an expensive market is just punished badly, and that's happening. So if you look at this chart right here, so major private banks have beat profit estimates in Q2, and that is primarily because of their lower NPA numbers, and higher deposit growth that every bank has seen, right? So if you look at the estimates over here, HDFC Bank beating estimates by a big margin, ICICI Bank beating estimates by a big margin, same with Axis, Kotak Mahindra Bank largely in line, but IndusInd also largely in line, Federal Bank beating margins by a decent amount, IDFC Bank, Yes Bank was a miss, and RBL Bank was a miss. So Yes Bank, RBL Bank, both are shitty stocks anyway. But other banks, other private banks have been doing well, and that's the reason you've seen PSU banks like Canara, Bank of Baroda, Punjab National Bank. They've started to move. So PSU banks, I think their rally is done now. I think it's overdone, but these are still strong stocks. Now, Bharti Airtel, as I told you, they had good ARPU numbers. I think the average revenue per user was in about 183, 184 against expectations of about 179. So even that was extremely good. So Bharti Airtel, I think I'm really bullish on this stock. I've been saying this multiple times. This 5G theme is something definitely to not miss. So and another important thing is Indian metals and ferroalloys prices have started coming off and costs are peaking, and that leads to pressure on margins. And that's something that Tata Steel's commentary today, told us. So again, metals are not the best thing for you to go long on right now. I think you can probably wait, right? Um, JSW Energy was up 6%, but the earnings were not that great. But I think their vision of expanding their green energy business, I think that's what took the market on the upside. CCL products, flattish earnings, nothing very great. LIC Housing Finance, today they came out with numbers. Numbers were okay, but today the stock was under pressure, 4.5% down. NTPC was really strong until a week back, and today their earnings were horrible, and the stock started to moved on. Sugar stocks, if you're holding any sugar stocks, they are expecting margins. So Dwarike Sugar's management, Mr. Vijay Banka, he told that he's expecting margins to increase, inventories to be lower due to sugar exports, and that should rise in the future. So I saw Balrampur Chini, and I'll go over the chart if I have time. Balrampur Chini is currently at a strong area of demand, so you may look to go long in that stock, or maybe look for some intraday trades over there. Now, more things which were important is bond yields are continuously rising, and same thing is happening with I think India VIX, and the overall VIX is starting to go down, which is surprising to me. But I think it'll not take a lot of time for it to start going up. And today, Nika, I think it was a showstopper today, 17.5% up. At one point, I think it had a circuit, and exceptionally good move by Nika, and I think shareholders would be decently happy right now. I think it's trading above 1100. Bikaji's IPO, I think I'm waiting for this IPO. This is going to be a good IPO. Auto sales numbers also started to come in, and they were strong numbers. And we saw that with the performance of Mahindra and other auto stocks. Even Tata Motors did well. Supreme Industries missed numbers. We're not going to talk about that because I don't really trade that stock very often, and that's not an intraday stock. Saregama also came out with earnings. Numbers are good, but really did not see a lot of action over there. There were a bunch of other interesting numbers. So VST trailers and tractors, good earnings. But I think from an earnings point of view, I think Bharti Airtel has been the best. Bharti Airtel just missed profit numbers by a small margin, but I think otherwise every single thing was great in Bharti Airtel. Apart from that, if there is any other thing, I'll just look at the news flow once again. If there's any other thing that I want you all to know, Tata Power, yeah. So Tata Power, okay, I told you, Mundra resolution. They also said coal profitability is unlikely to remain the same. So that's kind of a bad thing for Tata Power. But I think their commentary has been extremely strong. Now, there's a company called Panache DigiLife, was up 8% because of the agreement with the revamped Moto to manufacture and supply EVs in the Indian markets. So again, that's another play into EVs. Now, there's one more thing which happened with Zydus Life Sciences. So they got the final approval from US FDA for aceto. What is this? Acetaminophen injection. I don't know what is it, but Zydus Life has been like a decent performer. It's up 20-25% from its lows in the last 1 month, has outperformed Nifty. So that's there. Triveni Turbine is also announcing a buyback. They're considering a buyback on 2nd of November, so watch out for that as well. And I think there are two or three pieces of news which is left, which was important. Bharat Electronics, so BEL, they had a con call today, and in the con call, the management was pretty optimistic, and their FY24 guidance and FY23 guidance was in line. So, and the stock was up 2% today. So, definitely look out for. Now, Bharti Airtel earnings, I was just looking for this and it came over here on the StockWiz Discord server. So the profit numbers were slightly off, but just look at the revenue numbers, look at the EBITDA numbers, and just look at the margin on the margin front. I think they've done a fantastic job, and I think we will see good action in Bharti Airtel tomorrow. Um, so that's about Bharti Airtel. Average revenue per user was at 190 rupees versus 183 in the previous quarter. So a decent rise over there as well. And I think that is quite good for Bharti Airtel. And they have also prepaid 6,000 crores of the AGR dues well in advance just to free up cash flows for the 5G rollout. And I think that shows how strong the management is. And I think technically also Bharti Airtel is setting up nicely. We will have a look at those charts very quickly. So yeah, these were majority of the updates from the news front. I will just do a final check if I have missed out. Okay, so Axis Bank and Max Life, MFSL, they are going to be under probe tomorrow because of their acquisition deal of their insurance business. So that is something to kind of watch out for. Like if you are going to trade MFSL or Axis, just make sure that's going to happen. In Axis, there's going to be a block deal tomorrow, which is going to happen. So keep a watch out on that also. Uh, and as I was telling you, so cement was up because in September there was a 12% growth in cement. Fertilizers 12% growth, okay as compared to the previous month, but there were two sectors that are important. So coal saw good growth, and apart from that, we saw good growth in cement and very good growth in electricity consumption. So those sectors could do well for the next 2 to 3 days when, if at all, the market goes up. Now, HFCL gets approval for application under PLI schemes to avail incentives worth 650 crores. That is also good. HAL, I think they did a management change, not very important. And apart from that, Bain Capital is to sell 1.25% stake in Axis Bank via a block deal. So if you're trading Axis tomorrow, if there's a random move happening, just make sure that happens. Now coming on to Tata Steel, the reasons for Tata Steel's weakness was weak realizations, high coking coal prices. I think in the last market wrap I told you high coking coal prices, and Indian steel prices are at 8,750 rupees. The EBITDA in the Indian markets for Tata Steel is 8,740 rupees per ton versus 11,000 over there. So those situations are looking kind of bad for Tata Steel, and I think we are going to see some weakness tomorrow. Now, if you look at some charts and try to figure out what stocks could actually do well, I think we'll go to the FNO space and try to figure out, because I think most of my followers and my viewers are FNO traders. So we'll quickly have a look at some charts on this front, and we will try to see how things play out over here, right? So let's go to this chart and let's just kind of scroll through charts and see what stocks could be decent to watch out for. So I think Trent has been moving out of this very nice range, and I think it could continue its strength tomorrow. Mindtree, I'm not going to touch it. I think it's near supply. FSL, it's the same thing, lower end of the base, Soft, maybe if IT moves down, I'm not interested to trade Soft. Dixon showed good action. HDFC is again around this supply, so I'm expecting HDFC and the HDFC Bank, both the twins, to start falling. GSPL reacting from a very interesting demand, and we have seen natural gas prices were up 10% today. So natural gas was up 10%. Apart from that, I think pharma is going to be my favorite. I think pharma and real estate are going to be two of my favorite things. Look at Bharti Airtel record closing, and this stock has just exploded, right? So this has no, nothing on the left side now left, right? So I think Bharti Airtel has done like pretty good job after such a big consolidation coming in over here, move over here. I think Bharti Airtel could be 1,000 to 1,200 bucks in the next 2 quarters or maybe the next 6 months. So I think that's good action. Godrej Properties, I think real estate will continue to do well. DLF, Godrej Properties, Oberoi Realty, Soba. We traded them day before, and I think that's solid action over there. So if you look at these, if you look at the sectoral action, I think we have seen different pockets of stocks do well. Now, if I talk about stocks which could be traded on the weakness, I think the metal sector is something that should be definitely looked for on the short side. Now, if you look at some cement stocks, okay, this is not the best. Ultratech has room to move on the upside, but it needs more detailed research on how the structure is setting up. So I'm not going to go that deep, but look at hotel stocks. Even hotel stocks could do something well. Metropolis. So today we saw a bunch of hospital stocks also. Max Healthcare, I think, was up 6% today. And if you look at Metropolis, I think it has enough room to move now. There's nothing on the left side in terms of supply. So I think that could be an interesting thing. Ramco, also another cement name coming out of this move. But be aware of where Nifty is currently trading. So okay, Aditya Birla Fashion. Okay, just look at this. This is also coming out of this entire range, and now again, I think there could be a new move in Aditya Birla. So keep a watch out on this. Syngene, we've been trading Syngene for a while, and we took this trade over here, and we got like a decent 4 to 4.5 hour in Syngene. So Syngene is good, and I think Syngene is also taking out this range. So again, that is also another interesting name over here. Ashok Leyland tapping into demand and then having a nice move with good auto sales numbers. So I think even that is good. Again, cement, I think Ultratech was better. Havells, after a huge correction, I think it's weak, so just avoid this. Oberoi Realty, just like other real estate stocks, I think has enough, decent enough room to move. PVR also had like good action today, and we could expect it coming out of this range and starting to move out. So use your trading setup, use your trading system to filter whether you will get entries or not. So MCX has been one of my favorite names. So we have been in MCX from these areas about 1250s, and it has done exceedingly well. And now it has broken all these ranges over here, and now it's coming into an uncharted territory of supply. Balrampur Chini, as I was talking about, like it's coming into this area of demand. So not necessarily you go long here, but I think if it comes deep into the 300 regions, I think this would be worth a try. Now, Indian Energy Exchange also at an important area of demand. So if you are an Indian Energy Exchange investor, I think this is a good place for you to add your position. However, I feel the story of IEX is slightly tilted now, and I think it's going to face some problems due to competitions, and the stock has corrected quite a lot. So I think that's also going to be something. Now, Cipla got some observations, but I think if you look at the entire pharma index, I think uh, it has done exceedingly well. So I think these stocks, and if you look at the mid cap, if I look at the mid cap names on what happened in the mid cap story, so we look at this index over here, and we see HFCL. So due to the news I told you, right, HFCL got the this thing to take the PLI incentive benefits, and we have seen Supreme Industries up 6%. This is also an earnings play. That's also an earnings play. So yeah, bunch of stocks doing well. So Max Health over here, 6% up, breaking the range. I think this is one of the most strongest structures that you will see in this market. I think doing nice little things. Now, don't think I'm plotting a breakout. No, I'm not doing that. This entire range has moved out extremely well, and I think we could see another explosive move in Max Healthcare. Same thing. So I was talking about Rajesh Expos. Rajesh Expos also done a decent move. Trent, same industry, done the same thing, and trend is also moving out of this range. So I think these stocks are extremely strong for you to at least trade them on the intraday basis. But as I told you, I'm not going to be a big fan of being long on the market, aggressively now, because I feel that Nifty has the potential of about 300 points now, and Bank Nifty another 600, 700 points. Apart from that, I think it's pretty much dead. Now, before I wrap up, I will just, I just want to share a few more things with you in terms of news flow. Buybacks are going to come in, so make sure that you are talking, you're tracking that. Now, GAEL, Gujarat Ambuja Exports Limited, I think that can also have some action tomorrow. Deepak Nitrite, okay, so we've discussed all of those stocks. Dixon also we've discussed. Okay, nothing is left here. Okay. McDowell's has announced, McDowell's and United Spirits, I think they've announced another 400, 500 crores expansion. Either one of them has done it. 400 crores of expansion in their product lineup. So that's a good sign. Apart from that, I think rest everything we've discussed. So Persistent was in the news. They've launched another trailblazing solution. Not a very big thing, but if IT is good, you can check out Persistent tomorrow. Uh, I've told you about the L&T order from Saudi Arabia. Okay, United Breweries is planning to pump, not McDowell's. United Breweries, about 350 crores. Uh, uh, Adani to invest 150 billion across $150 billion from green energy to data centers to airports to healthcare. Okay, oh my God, what is Adani Group trying to do? And ONGC will set up a 1 gigawatt solar plant in Rajasthan. No news is very significant at this point, but what I can say is that there are specific pockets. Pharma is good, real estate is good, metals are going to be weak, hospital or healthcare stocks are going to be strong, and we could see cement stocks do well. But make sure that you stay away from metals. I think metals are going to be very volatile and on the weaker side. So if the market's weak, try to trade metals. If the market's strong, try to trade these stocks, and be very vigilant on where you're trying to go long on stocks. Do not take a lot of overnight positions. So that's a wrap from the market wrap, and I hope you liked it. And make sure you drop a comment and tell me if you're liking this format better. And if you're new, please follow, like, share, subscribe, do whatever you can, just for you to get these videos again and again on your feed, and you can be informed about whatever happened in the market, and I can help you out. Signing off. Thank you so much, and I'll see you next time.